Okay, I think it's on now. All right, hello everyone. How are you? This is Kay. So let's start the live stream today for Ichimoku members. So how are you? How is your weekend? And how was your trades in the month of June? This is the 1st of July. So just wondering how your performance was in the month of June. Was it profitable or loss or break even? Just let me know on the chat. We had so many trends in the month of June, especially JPI pairs keeps climbing up. So you may have took so many profits on these markets. Yeah, so before I start, let me just share my impression in the month of June. I actually looked back my trade performance for the last 3 years, and usually in the month of June, my performance was lower than other months. In July and August becomes really quiet with my strategy. But this year, the month of June was very active. And clearly that's because of the fundamental reasons with the different interest rate among different countries and inflation and some other factors. But I found that the trends are still there in the month of June. So that means in the month of July, usually in summertime, it said that the markets are quiet and ranging, but it may be different is my impression. So yeah, what I want to say is I simply want you to check charts at least once per day and use Ichimoku. And you can also combine Ichimoku original strategies with your own and continue to trade. I think we still have some good markets. Not only Forex, but also you see so many trends in index, and also commodities are ranging in the month of June, but stock market, index, and Forex were very nice. Cryptos are a bit choppy, I think, but yeah, I still see some great opportunities. So yeah, let's keep our hope and let's see what the month of July will bring us. Okay, yeah, so let me say hi to everyone. All right, Anis, good to see you. Thanks for joining. And Mark Maniac, good to see you too. All right, and Mark Winter also, good to see you. Thank you very much for joining. Okay. And let's see, oops, I think I posted something wrong on the Discord, so I just deleted it. So I'm sorry about the confusion. Okay, and Sean, good to see you also. Thank you very much for joining. All right, Sean says, since listening and watching your YouTube videos, trading is improving and I'm excited to learn more. Okay, sure. That's great. That's great to hear. Okay, so your performance is getting better, or maybe your losses are getting smaller. I think Ichimoku, especially in this Ichimoku community, I don't really touch the risk management or KTS, but as you learn more about the essence of Ichimoku through these original books, then you get the idea of what to do and what logics and philosophies to follow, and how to take trades, entries and exits also. Especially if you have read Ichimoku Basic Master Book, I have wrote some of the very effective Ichimoku original strategies like Tenkan-sen, Kijun-sen cross strategy, or Chikou span trace strategy, or the focus lines. You know, there are so many good and powerful strategies in Ichimoku. So you can try and continue to practice and trade with these strategies. then it should be fine. Yeah, but yeah, great, very nice to hear that. Yeah, so I hope you continue your journey along the way. Okay, and it says, okay, I tried the S&P 500 in daily time frame. I closed after holding for a month exactly on Friday, end of quarter. It was an experiment. One contract US 500, but went well. After 10 days, I had the stop loss at break even. Okay, that's great. That's great. So you follow in the long term trend on the daily time frame. Yeah. So S&P 500 is also bullish. It was bullish really big in the month of June. And I think it keeps on moving up, S&P 500. So yeah, I think you got one of the best markets to trade in the month of June. Yeah. So that's great. Very nice to hear that. Yeah. Seems like US indices are bullish now. Let me quickly check US index before I jump into today's topic. So here is Dow Jones. This is S&P. The market is about to break the high. This is the daily time frame, and it's about to break that resistance. So let me see if I did time cycles on this one. Oh, sorry, I didn't. But yeah, looks like the market has been stably bullish, and Kumo was thin this part. The Kumo was thin here, so the market retraced after that. Then now Kumo is getting thicker, and it's pointing up now. So if the market breaks the high next week, then I think this rally will continue bullish. So yeah, S&P, I think it looks very nice. It's bullish clearly. So I keep my upper row like this and you can continue to trade S&P next week also. Okay, so how was the trade performance in the month of June is my question. So if you can reply, that would be great. Okay, Sage Master, thank you very much for joining. Good to see you. Sean from Chicago, thank you very much for joining. Okay, my next is small profit last month. Okay, so you didn't lose, so that's great. Yeah, if you didn't lose overall on a monthly basis, that's a really good sign. I think you captured the right timings to take trades, and your exits are also good to take profits. All right, Isar, good to see you. Good morning. Thank you for joining also. All right, well, good to see you too. Thank you very much for joining. Okay. Okay, Binak also, good to see you too. All right. Yes, I will be doing monthly forecast tomorrow. Yes, I do. Yeah, this is the new month in the month of July. So monthly candlestick appeared and also weekly. So I do monthly and weekly time frames forecast tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. And it says 4th of July is a holiday in the US and upcoming FOMC and JOLT. I think I would not trade it next week. Right, that's right. Yeah, next week I think the market will be rough. And any news can change the whole direction of the markets. So yeah, I think you can take a week off next week. It's okay still. For me, I think I continue to look for opportunities because we never know when next time the market will range. So as long as it's opportunities, I take entries. But yeah, when the market starts to retrace everything due to news, then of course I don't take trades. So we'll see. Yeah, I think yeah, the news are really affecting the markets very big, especially the news in the US. Yeah, let's see what FOMC will bring us. Okay, Annie says my trading stop loss was always Kijun-sen. That's great. That's great. Yeah. So the market has been bullish, S&P, and it has been above the Kijun-sen. So if your exit timing is Kijun-sen, that means you are the midterm trader. So Kijun-sen is the midterm, and Senko Span B is long term, and Tenkan-sen is the short term. So first, you have to know which term you follow. If you are the midterm, then you keep holding until the market breaks the Kijun-sen. If you are the Tenkan-sen, then keep holding until the market breaks the Tenkan-sen. So Ichimoku is that simple. So that's great, especially on these big trending market. Ichimoku works really well. Okay. Max JPY pairs has been nice to trade in the month of June. That's right, that's right, yeah. JPY pairs are all bullish. Right, especially Euro JPY and Pound JPY are looking very good. And CAD JPY and Swiss franc JPY also. Yeah, we'll see. Hello, Tomato, good to see you. Thank you very much for joining. Anis, you're welcome. It's my pleasure. Yeah, so yeah, now let me see. Let me check some other comments. And also, hold on, let me see. Just a quick recap on the US index now. So here is Dow Jones. Dow Jones, this is the daily time frame. Tomorrow on the weekly forecast, I checked the weekly and the monthly, but here is the daily time frame analysis on Dow Jones. Looks like the market broke the P wave once, and then this was a fake breakout, and now we have a potential new N wave. So yeah, to me this is still bullish. The price is above Tenkan-sen, Kijun-sen, Chikou span above candles, Kumo is flat. But in terms of the location of the price, it's bullish. Buyers are winning the trades. So next week, it may break that resistance and goes higher. Okay, let me see. Yeah, so let me quickly do time cycles on S&P 500. I think also Anis is taking trades on S&P and also some other members too. So let me do time cycles on S&P now. I think that will be interesting to monitor together in this community also. So now we are monitoring Pound JPY and gold and also Nifty index, Nifty 50 and BTC USD. I did analysis time cycles on Wednesday and share the video. So let's continue to focus on those ones. And also plus S&P 500. So let's see. So now the swing high was marked previously here on the 16th of June. And then also the previous high seems to be on this one. There's a top 1st of May. And if I simply count the number of candles, then this was a 35. And 35 is close to 33 Kihon Suchi. So we find one of the patterns here. Even the previous swing high was here all the way back in 2nd of February. And the number of candles was it was 63. Okay, so that's also close to Kihon Suchi. So I think we find some patterns in the highs. So we had 35 days of bullishness. So from here, we can also expect another 35 days bullish. So that means 35 will become the 3rd of August. So that means in the month of July, the market may continue to bullish. So that's one of the time cycles. This is called Taito Suchi. Taito Suchi means the same number of candles between the highs. If the market respects Taito Suchi, then it becomes like this. But also the market may respect one of the Kihon Suchi numbers from the 16th of June. If that is the case, then that will be the Kihon Suchi will be 17 bars, and that will be the 10th of July. So around the 10th of July, the market may retrace. But for now, let's monitor until the 3rd of August. So this is for the highs. So in terms of the target, in terms of the date, that will be the 3rd of August. So that's for the highs. And we do the same on the lows. So in terms of the swing low, we marked here on the 26th of June. And the previous swing low was here on the 24th of May. And simply count the number of candlesticks, and it was 24. And 24 is close to 26 Kihon Suchi. So we find one of the Kihon Suchi numbers here. And to the previous swing low, it was here on the 5th of May. Sorry, the 4th of May. So that was 15 bars. And 15 is also close to Kihon Suchi 17. So we find another pattern here. So 15 and 24. So if this becomes Taito Suchi, then the next cycle, next swing low, or next pushback will appear on the 27th of July. So 27th of July, we may see the pushback. Yeah, so that means when the market gets closer to the 27th of July, then you don't want to take trades. The market may retrace and then goes up until the 23rd of, until the date is until the 3rd of August. So this is S&P time cycles. Okay. And also now, since the market is about to break the high, you can also do the forecast lines. You take the swing high and you take it to the 26th candles to the future, to single span A, and also to the single span B from the high. And now the market is above the forecast lines. So as long as price is above the forecast lines, then that's bullish. But once the market gets within the forecast lines, or if especially breaks the forecast lines, then you should exit your trade. So that's also one thing to take a note. But yeah, for now, this is bullish. I think, no doubt, you can follow uptrend. Time cycles. Yeah, this is very, very strong bullishness. Looks like it didn't break the high on Friday. If it was closing above, then most likely next week will be bullish. But since the close price became below 44, 47, this may be double top. So we will see. It may become double top, but now I see Kumo's bullish. So for now, I think bullishness is more likely. So that's time cycles on S&P 500. Oh, okay. I see one comment from Tomato. He says, hi Kei, is it a good strategy to sell 33% when price falls below Tenkan-sen 33% when it falls Kijun Sen, and 30% when it falls the Senko Span B. This is a gradual approach I use. Same way, increase the allocation. Oh, I think that's a great strategy. I think yes. Yeah. If the Kumo is thick, then that's a good strategy. But if the Kumo is thin, then don't do that. If the Kumo is thin, then that means market is overbought, so it can go through the Kumo easily. So that strategy can be used only when the Kumo is thick and the market is stably bullish. But yeah, that's a good strategy, I think. So that you keep holding your trade until it breaks the Senko Span B. Yeah. Senko Span B is usually way down. So if you exit there, then you may lose lots of potential pips. But like in this example, let's say if you bought the market already here or here maybe at the gold close of Tenkan Sen, Kijun Sen, let's say here, then you have been following a trend very nicely up until now. You may have exited your trade at the Tenkan Sen if you follow the Tenkan Sen. But if you follow the Kijun Sen, then you keep holding your trade because it didn't break the Kijun Sen yet or Senko Span B. So it depends on when you take trades, but that's how you decide which one to follow, whether it's a short term or mid term or the long term. So that's really interesting to follow. Okay, let's see. And it says, what I liked by trading the daily time frame is that I checked the market only once a day. I was very calm. That's good, yeah. So don't check charts too much. Yeah, if you check charts every hour or every minute, that's impossible to do. So yeah, less is more in terms of number of trades and also in terms of the screening charts. You don't want to screen charts too often per day. Possibly you want to screen less and still you make profits is ideal. Yeah, so that you have your own life. You can't just trade in your life. So time efficiency is very important, and in that sense, daily time frame is very good. Especially Ichimoku works so well with the daily time frame. I think this is very nice. Yeah. Okay. Hello, Gabriel. Yes, I think Tomato suggested some great strategy. So you can check and maybe test together and see how it works. Usually when the trend is happening, then it doesn't usually break the Senko Span B. I mean, if it's range, then no, it breaks the Kijun Sen and Senko Span B many times. But when it's trending, then usually it doesn't break Kijun Sen or it doesn't break the Senko Span B. So that's really nice. Okay. Okay, so now let me introduce a word from Goichi Hosoda through this book here. As today's topic of discussion, easy to learn and difficult to do. And he says this in this book here. So let me open the page and introduce what he says about this. So he says this is about trade psychology or psychology of learning the strategy. He says knowing is easy and doing is difficult is something that we used to say since a long time ago. But especially at this time of impulsing or emotional era, especially this word is something that we have to really keep in mind, because the word tends to be ignored. And then also, don't underestimate the power of knowing the strategy. The depth of the knowledge leads to the passion of doing. So I say knowing is easy. I mean, easy to learn, but learning deeper is also as difficult as doing. Especially life itself, in terms of human beings and life, I think everything is like that. But even if it's someone who knows well about that, about learning easy and difficult to do, but especially when it comes to markets, still human beings becomes emotional. And even if he knows a lot about the strategy, then he becomes emotional and he doesn't follow the knowledge and he fails. And that's why I say doing is much more difficult than knowing the strategy. I think that's true too. Let me just pause here. I think that's true because we are not here to be a professor of the markets, professor of trading. You're not here to teach someone how to trade or teach someone the logics of Ichimoku, but I'm sure most of you are here to make profits. So no matter how much knowledge you have in terms of Ichimoku or in terms of markets or price actions or candlesticks, unless you can do, you won't be able to make profits. So that's why I say sometimes it's important to just come back to the basics of the 5 lines, Kijun Sen, what it means by Kijun Sen, Tenkan Sen, and Chikou span, and build the knowledge one by one. I think this is like learning cycle is like, going to high levels in the buildings. Like you are in the ground floor first, you are in the first floor first, and then you move up to the second floor, and your view becomes a bit higher, so you can see more things, and then you have more knowledge. And then if you go up to the 3rd level, then you see more things and you have more knowledge. And you keep trading, you keep learning, and you keep looking back your trades and learn from your trades, and then you step up like that. So you can't really start from the 10th floor. Everybody has to start from the 1st floor and then gradually step up. And in doing so, when you're on the 5th level, then sometimes you go down to the ground floor and you learn basics. You realize something new and something fresh on these basic teachings. And that's what I find. That's why I read this book many times. I think I read now like 30 times already on this book, but still I learn a lot. Every time I read the book, it's so refreshing. And I think it's really important to sometimes come back to basics and what it means by Ichimoku itself. So anyways, so that's why he says even a trader knows a lot about the market, a lot about Ichimoku, then he can be emotional and he can lose and he can quit trading. And also some people trade without knowing something. So sometimes he says some people trade without knowledge and then fail. And some people knows a little bit and become too brave. Too brave or too careless in trading. So first we have to know deeply, and then that's one of the conditions for doing something. And he says, of course, learning is easy means that it's only as compared to doing. But knowing itself, learning itself is also not an easy job. As compared to doing, he says knowing is easier, but learning and knowing the basic knowledge is also itself is not that easy itself. So on the other hand, doing can be easier than learning also, but because it's easier to do, then some people struggle of the difficulty to know the knowledges. And some people also feels impossible to know and do at the same time. However, it may be impossible to know and do at the same time, but Ichimoku makes it possible clearly. And that's what I share in this book. In some way, these days, learning is easy and doing is difficult. Is how to say? It's like what's the right word? This sentence or this word is like dragging. I think dragging or like pulling everybody's leg in psychology among the traders. But he continues, at the same time, we have to trial. We have to trial and we have to trial and error. So markets are moving every day, and there are numbers in the market, and how you understand these numbers within the markets should be through Ichimoku, Kinkohyo. So he says numbers of market means open and close and high and low, those numbers. So, this sentence is very deep. So I try to be careful when I read and explain his words. So he says, before you trade the market, you have to know the market. And the depths of knowing is almost love something. So you have to know well about the markets, about the stock markets. Then you have to feel love towards the markets. Then you can say that you know about the markets. Yeah, so that's I think what I will just stop here now. So this sentence I have read so many times, and especially the last word, you have to know deeply to the extent that you love the markets. I mean, markets are not human beings, so you can't love. And especially when you lose, there's no way you will love the markets. But he means what he means by love is not truly loving, but to know deeply. And he also, on the other parts of the book, he says we have to breathe in and out through the markets. This is very philosophical, I think, but as the markets move up and down, like this on Dow Jones, as the market moves up and down repeats, and this is about to break. If it breaks, you follow. If it retraces, you don't. If it goes up, you follow. If it retraces, you don't. So you have to be with the market structure and be with the market flow, whether it's bullish or bearish. With time cycles and with the Ichimoku 5 lines, he says it's possible. So that's how he explains about the markets. And this is something that I didn't share within the books because this is very deep. But I'm glad that now I have opportunity to be able to share these words on Saturday's live streams. So yeah, please everyone, please love the market and try to understand Mr. Market. You know, we say Mr. Market. Mr. Market is very emotional. Sometimes he's happy and all of a sudden next day he's crying and all of a sudden next day he's very mad. So Mr. Market is very emotionally aggressive. He has ups and downs and you cannot control him. So whenever he's mad or he's sad, you have to let him be alone. And when he's happy and when he's enjoying, then you be with him and enjoy the ride with him. So I think it's like that. So you can't control the market, but instead you be with the market so that you take profits with the markets. So don't think the markets are your opponents. Markets are friends, and you have to know about the markets. At least for me, I think that way. So yeah. So let's see. I think I will finish the live for today. I think this is really interesting though. I don't usually say this, but markets are almost alive, I think. It's alive and it's having ups and downs just like human beings. So if you know how to treat your lady, then you know how to treat the markets, so to speak. Yeah. Okay. Hello, Jabril. He says it's about having an intimate relationship with the markets, almost like push hands in martial arts, being close enough to the market to feel and anticipate its movement. That's true. That's true. Yeah, you be with the market like that. Yeah, that's true. Binak says, it's like the difference between love and like. Yeah, that's true too. That's true. Yeah. If you still like, then it may not enough. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is, all about the sentiment among the traders and also the fundamentals. This is the logics of why basically the market is moving. But if you think the markets are like human beings or like a pet, for example, then you feel it's more adorable, and you may feel some, like a compassion to them. Yeah, it's definitely alive. The wave analysis is the reading of the market pulse. That's true. That's true. Yeah, these ups and downs. That's right. So no markets keep moving up and no markets keep going down. It has to have ups and downs along the way up or along the way down. So it's a rhythm and the patterns within the markets. Yeah. Binak says, if you love the market, you're going to focus on making happy market. But if you only like the market, it's obviously you will care less. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. So, yeah, this is kind of yeah, it's really interesting to think like that. Yeah. The difference between like and love. Yeah. And it says, I understand this way, to move with the flow and not counter trend. If retracing, either sit through the pullback or exit and re-enter later at bullishness. Right. You follow the trend direction. Yeah, so just be with the flow of the markets. That's the easiest and the best way to success in trades. Yeah, that's true. Sean says, being in tune to the ups and downs of the market you follow. That's true. That's true. And that's how Ichimoku tries to look at, based on the time cycles. It tries to capture the cycles in the market and also the pulse of the market. When it's bullish, how the market's moving ups and downs through the time cycles, and most likely where the market will reach based on the price theory and how many waves the market has been having so far based on a wave analysis. And if the market participants are winning or losing from short to mid to long term, are captured based on the 5 lines. Yeah, and with the help of the price actions and candlesticks, you know exactly what you're doing. Yeah, Binak says, less from every aspect of environment. Yeah. So, as he says, as Goichi Hoso says, markets are very simple. It's just up or down. Within the day, it becomes either bullish or bearish. That's it. So, we have to think simple. We have to know a lot about the Ichimoku, about price action. Based on your experience, you know a lot. But when it comes to trade decisions, you have to be simple. So, yeah, I think simplifying your analysis is also important to get better. I think the first phase is when you first get into the Forex or market or get into Ichimoku, you're excited to read the books, to read the Ichimoku Basic Master Book, and then watch the videos, attend the live streams, and discuss within the Discord groups, and you have all these new knowledges, new information. That's always exciting to know something new. And then after you know, then you start to summarize your knowledge and try to be practical on your trades. And I think after that, you have to simplify. Sometimes you have to cut down the strategies that you may not use. If you don't use Chikou span, then that's okay. You should show the Chikou span, and at least you have to know the location of the Chikou span. But if you don't use the Chikou span trace strategy, for example, then that's fine. If you use only Tenkan-sen, Kijun-sen strategy, that's also fine. But it's fine if you know all the knowledges from 5 lines, 3 theories, Kyushu-ashi. If you know everything, then choose the right strategy for you to trade. But usually people jumps into the cross strategy. For example, Tenkan-sen, Kijun-sen, cross buy and sell, and they only focus that without knowing the bigger picture of Ichimoku. And that's, I think, when people usually fail. So, but if you have knowledge, holistic knowledge about Ichimoku, then you may trade only with the Tenkan-sen, Kijun-sen crosses, for example, but because you know everything else, you know what you're doing. Yeah, on the side of your head, you know how Kumo is showing, how Tenkan-sen, Kijun-sen is doing, and how Chikou span is doing, but you take Tenkan-sen, Kijun-sen crosses. And this is a huge difference. It's a huge difference. So that's why I say you continue to learn, continue to study Ichimoku, because this learning journey never ends. You continue to study, and then your trade based on Tenkan-sen, Kijun-sen cross strategy becomes more precise and more accurate. Of course, if you want to use all the strategies, that's fine too. But I'm just giving an example of taking Tenkan-sen, Kijun-sen cross only to trade. So, yeah, I think everything is, about the lessons and about the learnings. But yeah, I hope you continue to learn in this community, and I will continue to share. So now I am looking for a way to draw the Ichimoku charts which are attached with this book here. I want to make my own original chart and start to explain how he was exactly explaining about these charts. So to do that, I have to find someone to draw the graph for me, or I may have to hire some freelance to do, but now I'm thinking to do that. So if you have a skill to draw the candlesticks or graph, then let me know by email. If you just let me know by email, that would be great, because this is very sensitive. So I don't want to use Discord to announce this. So if you watch this video or archive, or if you're in a live, and if you can do, that would be great. Please let me know by email. Then we can discuss about that. But I think that will be a next step. So I always wanted to explain from the charts that were with this book. But due to copyright and due to respect of Goichi Hosoda, I didn't want to copy and share the charts with everyone. So, but if I draw the charts on my own with some different colors, then I think that's fine. So that's my next step. Okay, so anyways, thank you very much for joining today. I think I will finish the live. So I hope you have a great weekend. And I will see you on the next one. So again, thank you very much. Until I see you next time, please stay healthy, stay safe, and stay gold. Bye for now. またね. Thank you very much.